Don't you want to live in a WOG world? You want to live in WOG world? Is that where you want to be? WOG world? You want to live outside in the WOG world?
This is present time problems. A present time problem, if you would open up another tab in your browser and Google present time problem, L. Ron Hubbard, or present time problem, Scientology definition. I don't know the definition by heart anymore. I stopped using the language because a big part of its successful method of control in hypnosis is language. However, hypnosis is possible. Happens all the time. Whole world is hypnotized by one thing or another. You may be hypnotized by your wife. You may be hypnotized by another person. You may be mesmerized by someone. Same thing. Mesmer was the famous hypnotist. But L. Ron Hubbard should be considered the same, a famous hypnotist. Because he was not a religious leader, not in the slightest. Now, I went to Catholic school in 4th grade when my folks separated and my biological father and my mother had custody of me primarily. And there were nuns. And if you didn't do what they wanted you to do, they had rulers with the metal inserts, and they would slap you on the knuckles with the metal part. And it didn't matter what you wanted to do. It didn't matter that you wanted to learn something that wasn't about the Bible or about Jesus or one of the apostles or Jericho or whatever. John the Baptist, St. Thomas Aquinas. You know, I was in 4th grade and I was wanting to learn. I'd been in public school. I've been in public school for, till 3rd grade. And I was doing well for a 3rd grader. I was reading to the whole class. When I was reading to the 2nd graders when I was in 1st grade. The teachers would ask me to go read for the kids in the 2nd grade class when I was in 1st grade. I'd go read the stories for Mrs. Slocum's class. And so when you're hypnotized, memories can disappear. That memory that I just shared wasn't really available to me in the state of self-hypnosis that you undergo by joining the Church of Scientology and, becoming a staff member and trying to understand and wrap your head around all that crap that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. I read book 1, Dianetics. That's what got me interested. If you read Dianetics and you felt there, and now a lot of people say they can't get through Dianetics. I think only a psychopath could get through the whole book of Dianetics and be like, yeah, I get it, I understand it. Because it doesn't make much sense in application. It makes sense from the context of hypnosis. As far as healing and curing stuff and whatever, like, no, it causes more problems than not. You're kind of opening Pandora's box. And so here's one of the little things in Pandora's box. A little thing called present time problems. So if you've got that open on another tab, then have a look at the definition. You can read it to me. Read it to yourself. I'm not hypnotizing you. What I'm doing is showing you how one of these terms and concepts in Scientology is used to hypnotize people. If at any point you feel hypnotized, just click the X on the bottom of the top right of the window and close the video. You're not being hypnotized. This is not hypnosis. Okay. But I will give you an example of a hypnotic command. So, present time problems. If someone in this church, this cult, it is not a church. If someone in this maleficently deviant cult that values nothing more than money and their own self-interest and survival. They use present time problems. This definition that you read, they use this, all right? This cult. And say someone who's doing a communication course is walking literally from the course room outside the building to leave and go home for the night. Say maybe 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. People had different schedules. You know, whatever. This person does their course. They're doing a first, second, or third course. That person will be targeted by an executive staff member. And that target will be either assigned, they will choose that target for themselves, or they will assign the target. Generally, the executives assign a target to you. Your target is a person. And you sit them down or you set them aside and you talk about some L or H. You talk about, you grab a book off the bookshelf and you talk about some of the concepts that are in his books, but really embodied in the oppressive, crazy, obsessed, psychopathic HCO bulletins that he would incessantly write from the time from 1960 until he died. And the end of that ended up just being the crazy bullshit OT materials. The guy had gone completely crazy schizo. Not unlike Jim Jones when he's on the monitor. Oh, they're all coming to get us now. The CIA's coming to get us now. We're going to have to defend ourselves. And it ended in a fucking massacre. Scientology doesn't end in a massacre usually. It ends with you being parted from your money and your family being disconnected from you, or either or, in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes both. And sometimes litigation, lawsuits, financial ruin. All right. So, this guy is coming off the course room. Did a good job, whatever. He had a win on the last course. He's working on getting him a second win. If you don't know what a win is, take a second and Google it. I'm not a Scientology dictionary anymore. Thank fucking God. All right. So, he's got him a little win. The executive has assigned someone a target. He's the target. Person gets their materials, staff member gets their materials ready to essentially make a sales pitch presentation to this guy to sell him something. Or it's a pre-sales pitch to get him to start using one of these concepts that make someone cave in, to decrease the individual's awareness, ability, belief in themselves, confidence, like shatter, compress someone down to a particle. To literally compress a person's consciousness to one single attention unit or particle. Attention units is an actual Scientology definition. I suggest you Google that. And particle is also, there's a special Scientology definition for that. I'll if I can leave the definitions in the description, there's enough space, I will. But if I don't, remind me in the comment and I'll update it. Okay. So, guy's got some wins. Or he's working on his second win. Staff is going to introduce him to a new concept to further reduce this person in awareness, to reduce their awareness using a concept, something like a PTP. This concept of a present time problem can be linked to another concept later called PTSness. And if you're on your second course, it's probably the ups and downs course. Usually do the calm course, ups and downs course. And then you start to introduce them to other concepts from books like Dianetics 55, Scientology 880, Scientology 8008, and Scientology 880, and the maxims, the axioms, and shit like that, factors. There's some really bizarre shit. Actually, one of my friends in real life and a subscriber here, Joshua Terzu, actually read Scientology 8008. I gave him the book, he read it. I can't believe he made it through. Fucking astonishing But anyways, he's a math genius. That's probably how he read through it. I don't know. So, and if you were to read some of this shit, you'd understand why. It's just weird. Some of them actually are, well, I mean, they're axioms. They're axiomatic. So, it's not necessarily something that you have to understand necessarily per se, but it's a set of axioms and maxims that are comprised. It's all these little concepts and beliefs that you start to add to the pre-clear, which is the person that I'm talking about, in this little story here where we're explaining PTPs. We call him Johnny PTP. Johnny PTPs. So Johnny gets sat down by me, or Dominic, or my brother, or Adam Guidry, or Jason Rutland, or Monica Galler, or Jim Hamry, or Kathy Steiner, or Tom Steiner, or Vicky Miller, or Wayne Miller, or even Trevor Miller, or Adrian Heredia. It could be anybody. Iris Sandman. It could be John Jones. It could be Karen Pison, John Pison. It could be another public, because the Ventura mission was very big at that time. And yeah, it made a lot of money. And so Johnny PTP gets sat down and says, "Hey man, you know about PTPs? You know about PTPs? You know what PTPs are?" And I'm making this funny for you, but this is not a funny thing. What actually happens is Johnny PTP sits down, and we sit down and read this reference, and we read this piece of literature that L. Ron Hubbard wrote, and it's usually some kind of mind fuckery designed to, again, like I shoot this video, decrease someone's awareness about things, to decrease someone's awareness about something, about everything, about themselves, to reduce someone to a particle, to one single unit of attention, which is a low level of awareness. Because who is going to ruin themselves financially and disconnect themselves from all their friends and family if they're truly aware of the consequences of doing such a thing? Nobody. You have to reduce their attention on themselves. You have to hypnotize them. And then the group hypnotizes each other continuously. You always have a PTP. Oh, hey, Marcus, you need to talk to Karen about PTPs because you got a PTP and she's got a PTP, and y'all need to work out your PTPs. That's so that's, you need to put that on your BP, your battle plan for the day. All right? And after that, then report back. Okay? So I go handle Johnny PTP on his PTP because I know what PTPs are. And one of my PTPs is that I'm down stat and I don't have books sold. We don't have new books sold to individuals. We don't have new first service starts. We don't have gross income on the board. Today's Thursday. It literally is Thursday. So there's nothing in GI unless someone else sold some GI or sold some books, or, oh, look, Adam maybe sold probably $300 worth of books on a Thursday, the day before Friday, where everyone gets fucking paid. The reason weeks for Scientologists end on Thursday is for a financial reason, because you can run a card or you can write a check, and the next day it's Friday. Most people get paid on Fridays. It's based on that because 50s, 60s people got paid on Fridays. I don't know. Nowadays you never know when you're going to get paid. But there's songs and stuff about getting paid on Friday. Yo, it's Friday. So our weeks end on Thursdays so that we can get all that money that someone's supposed to get on Friday. Comprends? Oui, oui. I need to work on my français. Man, I can do my Cajun real nice, but I don't speak the French very well. Alright, T? I'm sorry about that. I wasn't raised around my real family, which is all a bunch of Creole and Cajun people. Alright. I'm sorry. Finane. PTPs. PTPs. PTPs are just the first. Not the first. They're just one of many little concepts like PTSness, suppressive persons, goals problem mass. I'm sorry, that was hard to say. GPMs. We called them GPMs. Goals problems mass. Service facsimiles. Facsimile 1. Facsimile 2. Second phenomenon. First phenomenon. All of this bullshit concepts to reduce one's awareness to a single unit of attention to a fucking particle. To squeeze you in. I don't know how else to show this but by in this video having it so tight and the green screen behind me with whatever the fuck is back there. So that it's just, you're constantly hypnotized. I mean, you've heard about the stare. The stare? The 100-yard Scientology stare? There it is. Lost it. There it is. That's hypnotized. When you see someone like this, boy, are they a fucking Scientologist. Hey! What's up? I'm so fucking blown out of my head right now. Oh my God. I just got out of session. And I just blew all of my PTPs. Oh, I feel so good. And I found out that my mother is an SP. Yeah. And I've got to disconnect. It's either handle or disconnect, and I can't handle an SP. We're talking about a real SP. I can't fucking do it. That is what it kind of looks like. I'm exaggerating for fucking entertainment value, but that's PTPs. You understand? Now, here is the example of the hypnotic command, all right? You'll remember this video now. And I'm not hypnotizing you. I'm just pointing out that this is an example of a hypnotic command. This right here is a cross. That obviously, duh. What'd you think it was? A freaking a car? It's not a car. This ain't the Oprah Winfrey show. That's how my mom used to say it. Oprah Winfrey. Alright, so this was given to me by my Uncle Jiggy. And if you go watch the video of me and Travis playing Heaven, featuring Uncle Jiggy, because he walks in, he's got this exact same crucifix. And he got it. He gave this to me before we moved to. Actually, no. He got this for me when I was in. When I was doing my purification rundown. He came to see me in Baton Rouge. So let's see. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Anyway, it's a very beautiful, unique crucifix. And then my brother Alan got me this St. Christopher safe travel ring because I do a lot of traveling, and I've had this for a very long time, since before I moved to Nashville, I think. So it's for safe travels. And my uncle was wearing his cross in that other video. So if I wanted you to remember this video, then, you know, well, this would be the way to do it. That would be an example of a hypnotic command. So you probably will remember this video more than others. But it's not I'm not hypnotizing you. This has just been a more interesting video than this is probably one of the more interesting videos that I've done in a recent time. So PTPs, all those things that I mentioned and more, that's what it is to see in the mind of a Scientologist. When I say I want to show, like I want to show someone's thought process, and that's sort of in a small way what I just did, is sort of try to explain the process of what it looks like and what it feels like and what it ends up being. Because Johnny PTP ends up in the registrar's office taking his credit card out and selling his house and mortgaging his property and selling all of their inheritance or settlement to this church, to this fucking cult. PTPs. It's Thursday. Where's the GI? Condense someone down to a particle. Somewhere LRH says this. It may be in the factors, I'm not sure, but he would say it in a way that would not implicate him in hypnosis in any way, shape, or form. So that's it. It's hypnosis. More on that later. I'm going to keep it at 30 minutes. Thanks for watching. PTPs. Xenu Xenu. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Shepherd Sunday. I'm out. 47, 45, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.